2, the Chiefs are toast. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Well, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to Sports Daily here on a Tuesday. Glad to be with you. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland back in after a wild week and hopefully some much-needed rest. It is good to have TJ back in. It has been a wild week, boy. You can chalk this one up in totality of the things that have gone on over the last 7 days or so as one of the wildest. Good timing, then, that today we'll be joined by voice of the K-State Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. Not so much because the Cats smoked Mississippi Valley State last night as 40-point favorites, but more so that we can really dig into all the happenings with football. We had a coach retire, a coach hired, a bowl game, the beginning of a bowl game meltdown nationally that kind of started with K-State a little bit. So we'll get into all of it with Wyatt. Glad he's here today. We'll have that for you. Your comments and calls, welcome. You can call us at 869-1240. Max has got that line ready and set up for you. You can leave your comments on YouTube, on X. Thanks for watching us as well on 12 News Connected. Thanks for listening to us on the Odyssey app. If you are on the Odyssey app, you can also leave us a voice message. It's real easy. You just hit the little microphone button and boom, there we are, right there for you. Glad to be here with you. It is all what's on tap today, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. Now pouring the brand new seasonal Bach Lager. Bach, yeah, cold beer that'll give you a warm feeling. Bach Lager available at all three Wichita Brewing Company brew pubs, east near Central and Woodlawn, west at 13th and Tyler, and in historic Delano and Handley. Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather for the holiday season. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. You already beat me to the punchline. I was already thinking about whenever Wyatt joined the show that we had it teed up to say, Wyatt, it's been a crazy week since we've talked to you last. We'll start with the good stuff. What'd you think of the Delta Devils last night? The worst team in Division I college basketball. I saw that Jackson was tweeting out last night that Mississippi Valley State is so bad. I don't know if you're aware of the Massey ratings. It's like a computer system that you can put hypothetical matchups and they'll give you what the spread would probably be. Every team in the MIAA in the Division II would be favored over Mississippi Valley State. That's how bad they
are. Okay. That doesn't surprise me. I think that, the difference in Division II and FCS, or is it? Yeah, FCS basketball is probably not that high. Speaking of which, my alma mater has a Derby alum on it, really lighting things up right now. I didn't even realize that was happening. Fontaine. So former East End Derby. I didn't know that was happening. He's having a great year. Maybe he'll be able to play back up at some point. Yeah, it's fine. They snapped a 4-game losing streak. Maybe it shook them up a little bit to just say, hey, wake up, guys. Like we're getting a little dangerously close to Big 12 play to be playing as poorly as you have been. What was the score last night? 100-48 or something like that. It was over before it started, and we knew that was going to happen. They were 40-point favorites. They covered. 108-49 was your final. It was also Monday Night Football. Bad outcome for the Chiefs. The Chargers take down the Eagles 22-19. That is not good.
I really expected, watching how that game was going on last night and how the Chargers settled for a field goal, and I was sitting there watching the clock go, and I was like, we're going to have to get on the radio tomorrow morning and figure out how a tie affects the Chiefs now. Like, that's the most Chiefs 2025 thing that there is.
Yeah, you've got to, basically everything runs with San Diego or with LA falling in this scenario. There are other scenarios, right? There are other things that can happen with 7 losses, but they're not the easiest of the insanely difficult things was the Chargers to stumble and the Chiefs to take their place. You'd need the Chargers and the Colts to stumble, by the way. But the Colts lost Daniel Jones, so we'll see. But now they go from what CBS called a 9% chance yesterday to a 6% chance this morning. So all the Chiefs can do is win their games. Look, that's it. That's all you can do. Andy Reid, it got brought up to Andy Reid yesterday. He was in this situation one year in Philadelphia, and it worked out for them. And somebody asked how you related, but I mean, they're professionals. They're going to have to just play their games until you're eliminated. You're not eliminated. Remember the Bengals last year and how close they got
I thought about that
disaster of a start. I mean, it can happen.
One of my favorite stats I saw yesterday is the fact that the Chiefs have the same record as the Miami Dolphins. How come we're not talking about the Dolphins having the chaos scenario to get into the playoffs?
Well, the Dolphins are the hottest team in football. And they
wouldn't that be insane if the Chiefs stumble that hard and the Dolphins took that spot?
They play Pittsburgh on Monday. That's a huge game. Miami and Pittsburgh all of a sudden. So the Chargers still have left, and you need them to lose 3 of these, including Kansas City, and then the division race. So you need them to lose them all, actually, because you lose the tiebreaker by division record. So they'll have to lose. Now, listen to the schedule here. At Kansas City, at Dallas, at home against Houston, and here's the biggest problem, perhaps, that we won't know until the time comes. Denver on the road, but Denver's not going to have anything to play for. Like, so if you're a Chiefs fan, you're obviously rooting against the Chargers. You're rooting against Denver's possibility, but you want Denver to need to win that last game to get home field. That's what you'd want, right? You'd want Denver to need to beat like, it's so outrageous. All the Chiefs can do is win their games. Like, that's where you have to start. And do you even think the Chiefs will win all the rest of their games?
I don't. No.
And their schedule's soft, but
I don't know. I am at the point now where it's like, I love chaos scenarios like this, and they're so fun to try to figure out. Yeah. I'm at the point now where we've done this for a month. I'm like, I just take the horse out back, man. Like, I'm over this.
It's time to put it away. And we'll get to, like, what does that even look like? Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, as we've got a lot to still try to come back from yesterday, as we were cramming everything in, and we haven't even really talked about Darryn Peterson and the latest there and the things happening. We've got a ton to get to, and we will. But yeah, I mean,
Peterson stuff. I got to talk to you about the Peterson stuff. I don't think we've talked about what Bill Self said on Sunday. That was a whole.
We haven't had a chance. We were trying to navigate through, and we just couldn't get it all in yesterday. We had good stuff with Joshua Briscoe on the Chiefs. We had good stuff with Paul Mills from the doctor's office on the Shockers and the emergence of TJ Williams. So there was good stuff, but yeah, we'll clean and tidy things up here today, including Wyatt Thompson next. I'm really glad it's this Wyatt Thompson day, because that's a great way to sort of get through all of everything that happened in Manhattan. Did you just take a picture of the screen, by the way?
Nope, that was me.
Oh, it looked like that.
Lightning strike.
Flashed. I thought you were taking a selfie. I don't know. Maybe you thought you looked cute this morning. What is it? Look cute? What's the phrase you use when you take a selfie?
Look cute, or felt cute. Might delete later.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't know if that was what that was. If you're watching the video stream there. All right. It is also 12 Strays of Christmas. So we will have another one of those to get you to today. So if you're a pet lover, if you've been wandering around asking yourself if you've lost Brian, good news. We found him. He's not under the couch or the fridge. Definitely not in the car cup holder. He's at the Kansas Humane Society waiting to sit in your lap like he pays rent. Actually, it's Brain, is 2.5 years old, 56 pounds, and he came in as a stray, but he shows no sign of house training. He shows signs of house training and loves belly rubs, pets, and lap time. You can visit Brain at KHS or call to place a hold. If you want to help pets like Brain, KHS has a list of items they use every day. It's on our website, kfhradio.com. The 12 Strays of Christmas, supported by 316 Pet Supplies and XY in downtown Wichita. We're coming back. Wyatt Thompson joins us next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is Sports Daily on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up this morning. We all need a little coffee after the last week we've had, including Wyatt Thompson. Wyatt, we've been joking. I can't recall cramming as many just very newsworthy things into a short amount of time as we have for K-State over the last week. You've got a coach retiring, one of the second most successful coach in the program's history retiring. You've got the return of the prodigal son, and then you have a bowl game denial, and all of these things. Wow.
Like, and then you got to watch the Delta Devils last night. Why? Lest we forget.
That's right.
It's been crazy. I'm not going to kid you, and frankly, a little bit on the emotional side. You know, when this started to break at the beginning of last week, I had so many thoughts running through my mind about how much fun my life has been for the last 7 years working with Chris Kleiman and the job that he has done here. So you go through that. You also worry about why is he doing it now, as opposed to maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years down the line. And I've not been afraid to say that I believe he is ready. He is at peace with the decision that he made. And I think the biggest factor is that I think he just is tired of the shape of the game and what it is right now. College football is a mess. Everybody is saying it. I'm sure you guys saw the piece that Kenny Dillingham said. The only thing that's good right now about college football is the money for the kids. The rest of it is a cesspool. Not paraphrasing a little bit on that part, but so you go through the emotion of that, and then you bring back one of the absolute most popular football players in the history of the program to succeed Kleiman. And of course, for me, I got to spend a large part of the day with Colin doing, some media things and the presser. And I thought he was really good and so appreciative of not only what the athletic department did in putting on all of that, but also just, what people have done for him over the course of time. Bill Snyder, Chris Kleiman, many others, of course. And I love that about Colin. He's very gifted. I think he's got a chance to be great doing this, but he hasn't forgotten, where he started and where his roots are. That's a great thing.
Wyatt, Jacob and I are both news guys, and so you're trying to dig through and figure out the timeline and everything of everything's going on. I was just curious, from your perspective, what did it look like for you? Were you, the Wednesday morning waking up and saying, what? Or what did you know things were in place? What was your perspective on this?
Well, I'd be wrong saying I was one of the first to know, but I wasn't that far behind that first wave probably because, how it is. Our department is not the biggest in the Big 12, and I think we're one of the most efficient. We work hard. We're, blue collar, all of those kind of things that we talk about all the time. So you were starting to hear it, pretty quickly. And I think if I'm being honest, I was not going to lie. I was surprised. I wouldn't say shocked, but surprised, like I said before, with the now of it. And I think but once, guys, I think once he made his decision, um, I remember walking into his office, and I he looked at me straight in the eye and said, "I'm at peace." And it's like all I could come up with, and this isn't exactly brilliant, but I said, "Okay, I guess that's a good thing, right?" He has had a terrific career. And I think he's a wonderful person, family man. All the players really enjoy playing for him, the staff, all of that stuff. But again, I think with the ups and downs of this season, on top of all of the frustrations that he's had with the game and how it is now, I pointed out things like, everybody is frustrated with NIL and transfer portal and that, but it's re-recruiting players in the bowl season. It's having to cut players at the beginning of this past year, which Clint Brown, our GM, told me Kleiman told him it was his worst day in coaching, period, end of story. So there was a lot on the table for him, a lot of emotion.
It's hard. So I want to talk to you about the timing, not of like the sequence of events, but it sounds like you're in with this. Just like this could be the most fortunate timing we get when we won't know this until 5, 6, 10 years down the road. But Colin Klein has a rocket attached to him. We all know that. There was a point of he's going to do things that it'll make it really hard potentially someday for him to come back. And Chris Kleiman's only 58 years old. We didn't know that would be. He was having a lot of success. It feels to me like this may have been like the only shot at this. Like if he is here forever, if all of those things happen, if he's Bill Snyder 2.0, all of those things, we will have to look back and think, man, if they didn't get him in 2025, they may have never gotten him. And that to me is pretty wild. And I think a lot of people are like, well, did that have anything to do with it? Like, is there that much synergy in the athletic department at K-State, or are they just kind of, lucky potentially, if it works out, that it happened that way?
Well, I love this subject, and the first part of what you said, I think is so on target, because let's be honest, he is a rising star in the business, and everybody sees it, everybody knows it. All you got to do is if you don't want to listen to what Bill Snyder said about him or Chris Kleiman, go look back at what Mike Elko says about him at Texas A&M. I don't think it's any secret now that USF was making a major pitch for Colin. And I don't think he would mind me telling you that they were not going away. They found their man in Colin Klein, and they wanted him. And right towards the end of the negotiations, K-State calls, and it changed everything for Colin, his family, for K-State. And one thing that I would mention too is I think one of the first people that Chris Kleiman called was Colin Klein and said, you need to get in the mix here and do this. I think Chris really felt like Colin was the best person to take over the program. So there was a lot on the table there, and it worked out really, really well. But like I say, Colin told me that USF was making a major push. And you might remember, too, he was probably the second choice at Oklahoma State. And had he been a head coach anywhere prior, may have gotten that job. Uh-huh. So timing is, you nailed it, man. Timing is everything here in my mind.
And if it's USF, then maybe it's, TJ, maybe it's the SEC next. And that would have been the problem.
Absolutely. And that's why I say that, timing is everything. And it is that way in a lot of things, but in particular in the coaching world, right? He was going to get a head job somewhere. And if he has success, let's say he got the USF job and K-State was late to the party, so to speak. if he goes there and he's there 3 or 4 years and wins big, what job is next, Jacob?
Florida.
I mean, seriously, you
A
name
job
the school. It doesn't matter.
A job and resources that would have made it really hard to come back to
100%. Yeah, totally agree. And I think Colin is a very, very bright young guy. And I think he's going to, not that there won't be challenges here, but I do think this fan base is on fire right now with him coming in. I think they will do a really good job of helping the NIL pool and those types of things. Now it's on him to, create more buzz by hiring a really, really good staff and getting to work, here in the next few months. And trust me when I tell you, he has every plan to do that.
Well, we're spending a lot of time on this, but this part of the story is one of the crazier things that I think that I've covered in my couple of years doing the TV thing. But a lot of people, whenever you see a coach go and a coach hired so fast, the immediate speculation from the state of college athletics is the fact of like, oh, well, he retired, but it might have been a nudge out. But I think as we've learned more, it sounds more so like there was the fact of Kleiman was thinking about retiring, so he called Colin Klein to say, do you want this job? Like, that's what my thought process was of all this. This was not Gene Taylor going to Kleiman and saying, hey, we might have Colin Klein. Are you thinking about retiring? I think it was the other way around. That's what my thought says.
I don't disagree with that at all, TJ. I think it's certainly more of the former than the latter. I think that's absolutely on track there. Gene joked about, this was kind of a no-brainer and all of it, and he had a number for Colin, but it was the wrong one, and all of those kind of things. But those are those are minor things. I just think that he was the guy from the get-go if he's available, and they kind of worked it out to where, he was available, kind of knocking USF to the side a little bit, and that's sometimes the way it works. But I think everybody was so impressed with Colin. Like I mentioned before, he's so appreciative of his path to this point and all of the people that have helped him. And he kept telling me, in most of that day that I spent with him, and then even on the floor at Bramlage at halftime on Saturday, he said, "This is just surreal. When am I going to wake up? When am I going to?" So he's pretty pumped up to be the new coach of the Wildcats. That's for sure.
He's got a lot of work to do. He's got to find staff. He's got to find players. He's got to have a quick conversation with Avery Johnson. He's got things to tidy up, which makes it make sense that going to play in the Birmingham Bowl, I don't know, against Rice is not that surprising. And then there have been other schools say, you know what, that's not worth our time. This is the first year of the revenue share model, Wyatt. What is your take as somebody who's been an observer and a fan of this sport for a long time of the bowl game piece of what's happening right now in college football?
Well, it's a very frustrating thing, I think, for the teams, and I'll explain what I mean by that from the K-State perspective in a moment, but K-State wasn't the only one to opt out. And I think, if I'm being honest, it's more of the state of the game that we talked about with Coach Kleiman than most anything else. Let's be honest, most teams play all year to go, right? And so I think there were a lot of people since this has happened, whether you're talking K-State, Iowa State, Notre Dame, Baylor, Kansas, all of those that opted out. What's next? Are those types of bowl games, say mid to lower level bowl games, are they at risk? And I think the answer is maybe so. I think they'll work it out down the line, but there's so much to the CFP. I think there is certainly going to be expansion there. I think people are pushing that maybe we shouldn't. Let's go to 16 or 24 even now, I'm hearing. Do away with the championship games, or at least have a better tiebreaker system for all of this, because it's a mess too. Yeah. That's the thing that's hard to project out what it's going to be like, but there's so much on the table with so many issues. Somebody needs to, I'm a big believer in what Nick Saban said. I think we need a commissioner of the sport, because here's what they're getting from the NCAA. Nothing. I'm just being honest about that. I've been very critical of that. because they sat on their hands and did nothing for 30 years. And now here we are in the mess that we're in, and it should have never been to this extent. And that's just one guy's opinion.
Yeah. The thing about the bowl games is the fact of like, you make them, not they haven't ever really been like no disrespect to the Birmingham Bowl or the Shreveport Independence Bowl, but
right.
Those weren't the ones that you were really getting pumped up to go play anyways. The fact of it now is that you would have to figure for K-State here, you're going to have to figure out what coaches are coming in, what coaches are being retained. Is Coach Klein going to bring a whole new staff? If so, who's going to coach the bowl game? Like everybody talked about Coach Kleiman coaching the bowl game. That's one guy of the 20 coaches they have. All of the different things.
And the truth is this, and I didn't circle back and cover the K-State part of that is what I in the way I needed to do that. But in visiting with Coach Kleiman, Coach Klein, Gene Taylor, and others at K-State, I think they were in a pretty precarious situation there in that when Kleiman retired, he was done. And I'm being honest, if you want to criticize him, so be it, but he was ready to walk away. He told Gene that he didn't want to coach in the bowl. And so now here you sit between coaches, right? Even though you got one hired pretty quickly, he's not capable of doing that. Then you've got an entire staff that Colin, by the way, I should mention this, Colin will be back in town tomorrow, and I think Wednesday through Friday night or Saturday at some point, at which point I believe the plan is to meet with that staff and meet with said players and start the process here. But you've got a staff that they don't know whether they're in or out. They should be, I suppose, looking for jobs. They've got to take care of their families first and foremost. And that's why I say this is disappointing for the fans. It's disappointing for me. I love doing bowl games and I love the opportunity. But I think there's so much here that, I think when Gene Taylor said that we don't want to do it if we're not putting a representative, here's what K-State is team on the field, then maybe we should not.
The thing is all these bowl games happen during the craziest time for athletic departments and football programs in the country, between portals and staff and everything like that. And that's what makes it hard for all these schools.
Back again to Kleiman saying that the portal there's a lot of things about it, but the window of it couldn't be worse in time.
Exactly. That's what causes all of this.
It could not be worse. On top of the fact that here you are most of these schools getting ready to try to coach their teams and get into the portal and fill holes for next year. And yet you're re-recruiting your own club. And I think that is something that frustrated him as much as anything.
I will continue this the next time we have you in Wyatt. I wish we had an hour on this. The other reality is the playoff is making the bowl system less relevant.
Correct.
In a good way, in my opinion, and expanding the playoff is going to take away, unless they just turn playoff games into bowl games, which I don't know why they can't just do that. Just make them neutral site bowl games for the first and second rounds of just do that. I think, and you solve a lot of these issues. But man, with 16 teams in, I think soon, there's just not going to be very many that move the needle. And if the Liberty Bowl and the Birmingham Bowl want to be lower level teams, it just doesn't mean that much to the big schools anymore. And last thing for me, I wonder how expensive it is for K-State to go play in that bowl game when they have to revenue share. Is it a net loss to have to make a week's worth of travel for a football team?
Well, I don't know all of the numbers, Jacob, but it's a good point. And here's what I would say. A lot of people saw that the Big 12 fined K-State and Iowa State $500,000, but there is a lot of expense going into and having a bowl experience. There's a lot of people that travel. The bowls require you to be there for multiple days. A lot of times it's, 6 or 7 days. Think about the enormity of that. And sometimes for Shreveport or, those, all due respect, I love the Liberty Bowl. Those people are fabulous, but they're not paying out what the Sugar Bowl or the Alamo Bowl are paying. I mean, let's just cut to the chase and say it, right? So, yeah, I think there's a lot on the table here. We could talk about it forever, and probably will again at some point. But
next week, Wyatt, we're right up against it.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
I get it.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
only on KFH.
Playoff chances tumbling for the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll talk about it tonight, 97.5 and 1240 KFH at 6 o'clock, the Chiefs Kingdom Show. Listen online at kfhradio.com or download the free Odyssey app and search for KFH. It was not a good outcome for the Chiefs last night on Monday Night Football. They needed the Chargers to lose that game. That would have been helpful. Now it's and not just that the Chargers were able to win it, but Justin Herbert was able to play through a broken hand. I think TJ is the part that you're just like, he actually looks okay. It brings up, man, you were there at Arrowhead. We kind of talked a lot about, look, we got into the fourth down. We didn't get into, Butker's calamities as much as probably you think I would have liked to. And I would have liked to. By the way, in the battle of inappropriate kicker names, Dicker is better than Butker. And there are a lot of, and he's just one things to evaluate. And some of them involve critical pieces to this franchise's success that are going to get a little uncomfortable. And I'm not even talking about Travis Kelce, right? I'm talking about Trent McDuffie. I'm talking about Harrison Butker. I'm talking about a lot of names where it's like, this is the rebuild now. It has to be. I mean, they went to a Super Bowl last year, but
that's the conversation that is waiting in the wings whenever that E pops up next to their names about what happens to this franchise and where they go from here. Call back to the beginning of the show. I'm playing with the ESPN playoff machine, trying to figure this out. If the Chiefs win out, the Chargers lose out, and the Colts lose 2 of their 4, they still get in. If all that happens, even if the Colts lose out and the Chargers lose out, except for this next week and the Chargers beat the Chiefs, it's over, I think.
Well, yeah, if the Chargers beat the Chiefs, I think it's over.
I think it's officially over at that point.
Because then you'd lose the
tiebreaker
to the Tech. You'd lose the tiebreaker to the Texans, the Bill.
There's a way to backdoor. I think there's a way to backdoor in with the Bills helping you, maybe. But the easiest path is if they lose on Sunday, it's over. But yeah, anyways, talk about what we're talking about here. I agree. And I think that's what we'll dig into as soon as it happens is you can't, it's something like there's been a lot of talk about the play call. There's been a lot of talk about, the moves they made in the offseason. That was something that Brandon Zinner and I talk about that I remember on Sports Daily Sports Sunday, whenever they paid Trey Smith and Nick Bolton, it's like, okay, like they are making the decision right now to run it back after we just saw, a 15-2 team, but a team that everybody in the country knew probably shouldn't have been 15-2, and a team that got dismantled in the Super Bowl because of their problems. And they ran it back without their best offensive lineman. And there was a couple weeks in the middle there that we all keep calling back to where it's like, maybe this is going to work. Maybe Rashee Rice is what was missing. And now it's like, this looks like the bed that they made in the offseason, I think.
It should have worked. Right. Rice being gone hurt them more probably than we thought. And you had to pile that in with Worthy being, playing with a dislocated shoulder. The offensive line had the strange situation with Josh Simmons. Like there have been some of those things too. I think, if you start from week 1 with everybody there, this probably works at least to make the playoffs, but that's not what's happened. And look, there's also a whole lot of just, the pendulum has been one way for the Chiefs for a long time. They're catching it swinging the other way. There's been a lot of bounces that haven't bounced their way. That's unavoidable. The challenge will be the way that they've played, the penalties, some of the mistakes from the offense. Does there need to be any shakeup with that staff? I think the decision, most of the decisions that they made, I would say I agree with and aren't going to hinder them long term. Having Trey Smith locked up is not going to hinder them long term. Drafting Josh Simmons, like their line when healthy should be a foundation. Like next year going into the offseason, they should be settled on the line for the first time in 5 or 6 years with an aging quarterback. It's a pretty good place to start. Rashee Rice is one of the more talented receivers in football. Like there are things for them to build around, But when we think about like McDuffie's probably not going to be able to be back. So what is the thing that you can do with the roster that immediately makes them better and turns them into a contender? Because the alternative is you just have to get younger kind of everywhere. And that takes a little while.
I don't know. I mean, you'd think that you have to target some defensive line pieces to try to get a pass rush going. That's a big part of what they're missing right now.
Yep.
I agree. They're missing a lot of that. They probably should draft a running back if we're talking seriously there. And then I think that a lot of it is, and I don't want to be that guy because you never want to be that guy, but whenever a team falls below expectations as far as the Chiefs have, like coaching staff things have to happen. And like that's people have been, scrutinizing the play call basically all year. And it's like we're a long way gone from, the enemy's offense from a couple of years ago whenever they were awesome. And it just doesn't look like that anymore. I think part of that is that teams have figured out a way to kind of beat the Chiefs. And then I think the other part of that is the fact that it's
always Andy Reid's offense, and they don't have Tyreek Hill. And I know they had 1 year of great offense without Tyreek Hill, and then the league adjusted, and it's been hard. I think they put too much back to Kelsey. They put too much on him. I asked you guys this. Of course, he had the drop. It should be a shared drop because that was not a good throw. Like they should have to share that drop. And I know they would in reality, but like in the stats, Kelsey's dropped a lot of passes and he's made a lot of critical mistakes this year. But part of that is like at some point, guys, like you have to stop just leaning on Kelsey and Mahomes to save the day for everything. Like, especially for Kelsey, this older player, but like at some point, like the old idea that you just let Mahomes and Kelsey go make a play, even as Kelsey's been the second or third most productive tight end in football this year. Like, listen, if Kelsey wanted to come back and play next year because he just can't step away, it would be on a team-friendly deal. You welcome him back with open arms. He's still good. He's just not that dude like that anymore, which is why I don't think he'll come back. But, Rashee Rice made critical mistakes in critical spots. And so I don't know what the answers are, but I'm with you. I would go absolute all in on this defense. Like the defense is real close to being real good. And if you added a pass rush to everything else that they do well, that's the next ticket. Turn that around and then, just lean into Mahomes trying to, will.
We've seen it. The philosophy of the Kansas City Chiefs change in a full pendulum swing. We'll keep using the word pendulum here. A full pendulum swing of, Tyreek years. It's just we're going to score 50 points and we're going to find a way to outscore you. And our defense is terrible. Then they trade Tyreek Hill and they load up on the defense. They draft Trent McDuffie and Karl Loftus in the same draft, and the defense is awesome. And they won in 2023 because of their defense being awesome. And then we've started to swing back a little bit, and the defense was awesome last year as well. Offense is awesome in 2023. 2024, defense is awesome. Then we get to 2025, defense isn't as good. Maybe the offense will come back. The offense isn't very good either anymore, and now they're 6-7.
Yeah, it's wild, and they're not as bad as their record. They're certainly playing as bad as their record. They might be playing worse than their record, but it's just how does this go for the Chiefs? I think
got to change. Something has to. I mean,
it does. No,
definition of insanity.
It's how does it and how drastic is it? And I use the example all the time because they've played themselves into the comparison of the Patriots. It took a long time for the Patriots to get back on that second run, right? They won a bunch and then they were good, but they weren't, they're good. They're not winning them. And then they start winning them again. Like those are completely different teams at that point. Now they had the same head coach, and that probably won't happen for the Chiefs. So that's something to think about. I don't know that there's no reason to think it's like next year, but like what is it that happens to get them back? Because what we're seeing this year in the NFL is a changing of the guard. Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati didn't have Burrow, but like we're seeing this, at least in the AFC, we're seeing things change, right? Like the same, like, so now not only do you have to just go into every year like you do saying, all right, we got to be better than Baltimore and Buffalo. Simple enough. Here we go. Let's go. Now it's this entire new cast of characters in there. Okay, now how do we completely reinvent ourselves to get back to, and again, they went to the Super Bowl last year. Like if you asked a Chiefs fan right now, you would think that the Chiefs are in a Cowboys drought, the way that they're acting about being 6-7 in a season. Like it's a little jarring. Like, guys, it's okay. Like
it's not okay. Like I'm with them. Like the Chiefs are in a once in a lifetime window right now. And like that's the thing that
they've been to 5 Super Bowls.
Well, God forbid you try to get to 6. Like it's fine to be upset. Like it's okay to be upset. That's something that Brandon and I were the most upset about.
I'm not saying it's not okay to be upset. Sorry. What I'm saying is it's not like it's over till the end of time. It's not like it's been like they just went to the Super Bowl last year. They still have Mahomes. Like it's not like they're going to have to go through a bunch of years of winning 3 games a season, which is my point. Like, what can they do? Is it a tweaks and tweaks and tweaks, or do they need a hard total reset on this thing?
I don't know. The thing is that I'm with you on the fact that it's not over, but until you're proven otherwise, there's no reason to not think that. Like you have to see something change
for this season. For this season, but I'm talking about in totality.
I'm telling you in totality. If it's over this season and they don't make the playoffs, like going into next year, I know that the nation's brain is wired to think, well, the Chiefs will be back. They have Patrick Mahomes. But if they run it back with this group, what tells you in your brain is like, oh, well, it'll just be better this year. Like I'm telling you, change has to happen for you to not.
They can't run it back with this group though.
Well, not exactly this group, but like change needs to happen is what I'm telling you. Like if they rolled back out the same coaching staff, the same defense, drafted I don't know who you want to draft. Throw somebody in there.
Defensive
and like
lineman.
Don't sign somebody, just end up playing Wanye Morris at right tackle. Like you got to make some kind of a splash to get back in this thing, because that was the thing that drove Brandon and I the most crazy about this offseason is that they didn't capitalize on anything. Like they just rolled everybody back. And I get it. It's a team that just went to a bunch of Super Bowls in a row and you want to keep it together as much as you can, but they didn't get better. Like they got a left tackle and that was the biggest thing.
They added a starting left tackle and a Pro Bowl wide receiver.
I know, but like, I don't know. Like it
hasn't worked. It hasn't worked, but they added stuff. This team should be better than the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. Yeah. I mean, it should be. They're much better on the offensive line. They have Rashee Rice back. Travis Kelce is a better player this year than he was last year. I don't think there's any question about that. Like, I don't know what the wholesale changes can be. Is my point. Like, what need like we can trade guys like. They're going to have to draft really well. They don't have any money for free agency.
It'd have been a matter. I'll tell you after the break.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break and we'll continue it. It's all Brockton, Cleveland on a Tuesday. Sports Daily coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Well, hey there. Welcome in, everybody, to another hour of Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleland with you here on this Tuesday. It's Fun Tuesday. We're still trying to clean up from the weekend and all the things that have been happening. We'll have more on the Darryn Peterson situation a little bit later in the hour, continue this discussion that we've kind of cracked the can on for the Kansas City Chiefs and, what can they do to, after this year. I mean, I think all of us are sort of looking at this as a lost year now. What can they do to try to get through it? Lost year in the sense that, they've got to win all their games and you just kind of watch. So for now, it's just win all your games, right? Still still just go out there and win them all and see what happens. But the outcome last night certainly doesn't help. So we'll have all that. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather for holiday fun while everyone's in town. Make WBC your unofficial high school or college alumni meetup spot. More than 15 beers, different beers, a Christmas cocktail list, pizzas everyone will love. Make Wichita Brewing Company the place where groups gather for the holiday season. All right, TJ, back into what we couldn't get tidied up there in the last segment. Floor's yours. Time yours.
Basically, the thing I was saying is the fact of like they didn't have any chance to make anything because of what they wanted to bring back and everything. The point that I've made and what I keep making is the fact that they made the choice to pay Trey Smith what they paid Trey Smith and pay Nick Bolton what they paid Nick Bolton. And with that, like, you'd think that there would have been room to potentially like reallocate and maybe strengthen other spots that you needed to strengthen up, because we talk about the defense a lot, and I think that what we've seen of the Chiefs last year is that they wanted to be a defensive team, and the defense got a little bit worse. Like, I understand bringing Nick Bolton back is a big part of that, but you think
giving George Karlaftis a lot of money is a bigger part of that.
It's true.
And you kind of made your choice there if you're the Chiefs. Karlaftis to me over McDuffie. And we talked about it at the time. I think I'd have probably rather had McDuffie. I don't, Karlaftis to me is he feels like an average starting defensive end. So he's not bad, right? It's not but it's not been ever anything where I'm like, oh yeah, you got to pay that dude. And we've had lots of McDuffie moments where we're like, oh yeah, you got to pay that dude. But the reality is the only thing the defense needs more of is pass rush. Look at when Chris Jones went Hercules on the Texans in the second half, they had absolutely no chance against that Kansas City defense, which is why you don't go for it on fourth down. But they had no chance, right? And so imagine what a consistent pass rush could do. That you would have a situation again. And I think we've honestly taken for granted how good the defense has been and how important that's been to the Chiefs in the last bit of this, this end of this first part of the dynasty or whatever, is how good the defense has been. It's bailed out the offense for 2.5 years now. And so that leads into, for me, Rick says the thing that a lot of people are saying, Matt Nagy needs to go, but it's always been Andy Reid's offense, right? So I don't know. Andy Reid is going to have to need to adjust, or they're going to have to get to a point where they can reinvest somehow. And I don't even know what that looks like, because I really hope it's just been a symptom of his injury, but he's kind of been a non-factor this year. And that was another first round pick. I'm with you. You invested in Trey Smith. You've invested in Creed Humphrey. You've invested in Josh Simmons. You've invested in Elijah Moore. You've invested in Kingsley Suamataia. We're talking about 3 or 4 years of either big money or high draft capital. You've invested in all of those guys. That part of the team tracks next year. Okay, you won't be as unlucky with the group getting hurt and being gone or whatever. It's time to go big, probably. And that can absolutely mean Kareem Hunt is still a part of it, because he's been so effective in short yardage, and he knows, he's a good pass blocker and all those things. But the Chiefs' next development may very well be go big and redefine through a running game. Could you imagine Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice in an effective play action environment?
They never have been. I agree.
And that is that's a big change. And that's the kind of big change, though. Like, can you invest? Can you go big at running back and redefine your offense that way? Keep everything else the same, and then continue to heavily invest through the draft on defense. I think that's probably the next evolution of the Chiefs. I think that's the most likely evolution of the Chiefs, is that thing. They're showing us this year that they're kind of into running the ball again. And they can't, and it's, it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust this year. but they kind of like that sentiment. So maybe that's the change, and maybe that's the evolution. And if you'll remember, again, comparing them to the Patriots, which I think is the right thing to do, that's how the Patriots dynasty started. Corey Dillon, I mean, they ran the crap out of the ball. And then who's the running back, the Minnesota running back they brought in for a few years? Max, help me out here. Marion Barber's running mate there that was the New England. Shoot, I can't think of his name.
Lawrence Maroney.
So they and I think he was a first round pick, wasn't he? They invested pretty big. That was definitely a part of things. It wasn't always Tom Brady putting up the Randy Moss years. Like, that was the later evolution of the Patriots run. Their early years, they ran the ball and played great defense. That's how they got it done. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's what you evolve into if you're the Chiefs.
Yeah, you know what would have really helped that? Getting a running back at the trade deadline just to try to capitalize on this season.
I don't know if it would have helped them this year. I don't know if it would have. I mean, a running back and 60% of your offensive line being down doesn't make it easy to run the ball.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, there may be something to be said about the fact that, like, the Chiefs have been air raid for so long, and like teams have gotten torched by it for so long. Like, you'd think that the NFL may have just caught up and just thought about, like, guys, like, if they're going to run it, they're not going to run it for more than 4 or 5 yards. Like, just drop everybody back. Like, and I don't know if that's what's happening or not. And I know that there's a lot more pass rush that's affecting things more than a secondary is.
That's what the Bucs did in that first Super Bowl. And that started, honestly, it was the start of this trend in the NFL. It was the start of the thing that has made it harder for quarterbacks to do that. Like, that was, and the league will, the league's going to correct, because everyone's going to adjust to that part of what we're seeing. But what they can't, both in literal and figurative terms, what they can't do is try this again next year.
Yeah, I agree.
They won't be able to, but I mean, it's time to do something different. And it is so wild to me that this has not worked to the degree it has not worked, because a lot of the reasons it's not working have nothing to do with the way the roster was put together. It has to do with them making tons and tons and tons of mistakes that these same players don't typically make. And you're just like, what do you even do? Like, how does, like,
I know, like, it's wild that the Chiefs have been such a, I don't even know what word I want to use here, but just disoriented. I don't know what the right word to use. It's not what they've done. Like, that's what has made them so good.
They're getting older.
That doesn't make them make mistakes. Like,
no, I know. Well, it makes Travis Kelce not make a heroic one-handed.
I'm not even talking about
away
heroic
from his
things.
body catch. Well, but that's happened, right? Like, there was a time where you had no doubt Kelce catches that ball, but this year you're seeing it. Like, that's not. And Mahomes not being so precise on every throw. It's like, those are the things, like, at some point, like, it sucks to get old. It does. You just got to, we'll see that again. Chiefs fans aren't going to have misery for as long as 15's under center. So misery right now is that you're not going to your whatever 9th straight AFC championship game. Like, that's not true NFL misery. We'll see how quickly they can get back to that.
It's
right
such
now
interesting.
Is go win.
The biggest deal of all of this is the fact that, like, and I know Max is gonna have a day whenever this happens, is the fact of, like, what does that mean in comparison of teams that the Chiefs missed the playoffs? Like, in comparison of quarterbacks, that Patrick Mahomes had a season that he didn't make the playoffs. Like,
nobody cares. Like, it's all about Super Bowls.
Yeah, I swear they're gonna care. Just wait till you see.
If the problem right now, if you're in that camp and you think Mahomes might be able to do it, is he's got to win like 4 more Super Bowls. Right?
And that's what he was trending to do. Like,
he is not just is right.
But if he misses the playoffs, it's like,
he's trending there. If you think he's going to play until he's 45, right, and some of those kinds of things. So two things can be true at the same time. Mahomes has had the best first 10 years to his career we've ever seen, and he's going to have to repeat that to catch Brady. Like both of those things are true.
I want to know where you buy these drugs. I've got to have these drugs.
I don't know what he's not having as good a first 10 years. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
He's not in Manning's class, Marino's class, Montana's class. No.
How many Super Bowls did Marino have in his first 10 years, Max?
Doesn't matter.
So Super Bowls don't matter?
It just doesn't matter anymore.
So
Whatever
Super
Max
Bowls
made,
don't matter.
So then, okay, we're going to break. We'll be back.
We'll be right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland. Hey, thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. We had a great bourbon and bites night the other night. Some really cool stuff with Four Roses. We had samples. We had really good food. The master chef came in. It was awesome. One of many great events that Crestview puts on literally every day. You go into the calendar and they've got 4 or 5 things happening every single day. So even this time of year, it is well worth your time. You can give them a call. There's all kinds of different memberships to take advantage of all the different things that they have. We appreciate their support here. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you here from Sports Daily. All right, TJ. We have not had much time at all to talk Darryn Peterson. We did briefly yesterday. Just in the sense that, boy, you watch it and it's like, man, he is exactly what they need. Here's what I told Jackson. You tell me if you agree. Because I like to, be really optimistic, just in general. I think if they can get him to full torch, this is a team that could definitely be a top 10 team at the end.
I mean, it's realistic that he could score 40 points in a game if he can play 40 minutes in a game.
Right.
I got to tell you, I don't know if you know what Bill Self said after the game. So he only played 23 minutes in the game.
Right?
Yes. So Darryn Peterson only played 23 minutes in the game. Right before the game, he did his, pregame interview with KU that he does and said that, he's going to play. We weren't sure if he was going to play, not because of his hamstring, because he was sick. And then after the game, the whole timeline of events here, I'll tell you what we know. So he makes a three. I sent you the video. He makes a three, looks over to the bench and says, "Take me out," and pats on his thigh like there's something going on with his leg. Like, "I'm out. Take me out. Take me out." Goes over to the sideline. You see him on the end of the bench laying on his stomach, getting rolled out, everything of that nature. Then he comes back in for 2 minutes. Then he goes back to the locker room with the trainers and leaves the court entirely. Then he comes back, doesn't play for the final 11 minutes of the game. And after the game, people asked Bill Self about, was something going on? Why did he come out? Like, we saw him over there getting rolled out. Like, did he hurt his leg? And he said, well, that was just a precautionary measure. He was sick, so we didn't want to play him more than like 20 minutes anyways. And so we weren't sure if he was going to be able to play. So that's the reason he didn't play in the second half, is because of that, not because of something with his leg. So
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what Bill Self is trying to protect. He's probably trying to protect Peterson in a lot of ways. He's probably trying to protect Peterson, but Peterson's obviously self-aware enough, if you watch that video, to say, hey, I need to come out. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Agree. And listen, let me retract here. If he's sick, and he probably was sick, and I'm not sitting here calling anybody a liar about him being sick. He was probably sick, and he probably was on a minutes restriction, and that's true. But there's something
he did still
there.
pull at his leg, yeah.
Yes, that's the thing, that there's something there. And if it was a cramp and they rolled the cramp out, then that's good. They got it out and he got back in the game, and that's what's supposed to happen. But the fact is that a guy that's had cramping problems early in the year may still be cramping.
And this is what I mean about protecting him. Like, all of this strangeness from Self could, and again, Self was kind of strange with the McCullough injury. There's some history on that, but it could simply be he's trying to protect Peterson through the process to be the number 1 overall pick. And so he's not going to come out and be like, yeah, he's got a history of soft tissue injuries. Just, again, grain of salt, everybody. I'm not sure we've ever, and I get it. It's because the hype of this player, But I don't remember ever being so concerned about the minutia of an injury to a guy. Like he's either there or he's not. Like the semantics of why, I don't really care. Like I just want to know if he's going to play, but I don't need to know like, did he really, was he sick, or was this what's the, like, he's either out there.
I want to know if he's hurt. That's the other question.
I want to know
here.
if he's hurt. That's not what I mean. I don't need he's either going to be there or he's not, I guess is what, like, he either plays or he doesn't. What I think is the frustrating part for me is he ever going to play 40 minutes? Right? Like that's the part where it's like, okay, like if he's hurt or if he's not hurt or why he's hurt or trying to protect him or say the right things and all that. I don't care as much about that as much as I do about when we get to March. Is he going to be able to be full go? Like, is there any point in this year where he can go full speed?
That's the question. And I don't want to sit here. I don't want to overreact to it all and everything like that. But I think that the biggest story of this is that, like, back to the panic meter. We talk about the panic meter a lot. On that, like, you're not panicking about that. But it's a blip. Like, there's a 1 on the panic meter, maybe, just to know that that's a thing. Like, that's the biggest thing of all this, is that, like, you know, it's officially a story at this point. And the fact that he came back and something else happened, like, is a story. And that's all that it is. And so, I don't know. The other part of this as well that I wanted to talk about with Darryn Peterson is that he looked great yesterday. And obviously he can, you know, shoot it from wherever he wants and make a lot of it and everything like that. Bill Self, after the game, you know, talked to reporters about, like, what did you think about what it looked like? Because we haven't seen it look like that. And we haven't seen them together in, you know, 3 weeks or whatever it has been. And he basically said, like, I thought that we looked better without Darryn Peterson on the court than we did with Darryn Peterson on the court. Because when Darryn Peterson on the court, the other 4 guys kind of just give him the ball and watch out because they don't want to be the guy that takes the shot when Darryn Peterson's on the court. And when he wasn't on the court, they played like they did when they were in Las Vegas without Darryn Peterson. I'm not saying that they're better without Darryn Peterson on the court. I'm saying that there's still something to figure out about how this will work.
They haven't been able to play together.
And that's one of the biggest stories of the non-conference, is the fact that they haven't, they still have to figure that part out.
They do.
And that makes you optimistic about what that could look like.
That's the whole thing for me, is when I watch that, I'm insanely optimistic. That's what I'm saying. Like, top 10, this is a team that can, like, make a run, because they did learn how to play and show us probably more than anybody expected without him. We can see, even in the very limited time we've been able to see him, we can see how easy offense comes for him. It just so happens that is the thing, that group that even as they played and learned how to play really well without him, needs desperately. You put those two things together and it just, like, it jumps off the screen. It's like, holy crap, this team has a chance to be outstanding. Yep. Now, will there be enough time for them to learn that before conference play? That's the part we don't know. I really just give me this team with Peterson playing 30 minutes a game in March. Just give that to me. However it is that we get there is going to be an adventure in insanity, right? It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be like, oh my God, like, what are we doing here? Is he playing or is he not playing? Like, we might be doing that for a while, it looks like. But at the end of the day, you give me Peterson, you give me 30 minutes of Peterson with the team we saw go to Vegas, and this team's real good. Real good. And I hope that they can develop that cohesion. That's the part that's the part that concerns me. But there is also a part of me that says he is dealing with some stuff physically right now. Just get him to March. Just win enough games to get him to March. I don't care if you're a 10 seed. Just get him to March.
That's too scary for me. By the way, I'm rewatching the Chiefs game. Harrison Butker's about to kick a 43-yard field goal. What do you think's going to happen?
Which one?
Bong. Right up, right. Yeah, anyways, the thing about that's so scary, though, is the fact, I mean, conference play starts in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. Like 2.5 weeks is whenever you're going to be playing games that, you know, these matter, but those really, like, you don't, that's my whole thing about KU this season, is that, like, what do you want to be? Like, KU is a team that, like, in my mind, if KU doesn't win the Big 12, like, it's not I mean, I don't want to say it's a letdown, but like KU should absolutely be in the top 3 of the Big 12 every single year. That's just the state of the program. And so like to go into it and like just say like, well, yeah, just get in the tournament, like, and we'll figure it out then. And I agree that's what really matters when you get to that point. But like, I need to see Darryn Peterson play against Big 12 opponents.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's all that matters. What I'm saying is like, if he's not going to be able to go, like just get him healthy. And I cannot wait to watch the Big 12 this year. I cannot wait to watch him play in it. I hope that he does. But whether they finish 3rd in the Big 12 or 6th in the Big 12 means far less than him being healthy in March. Like, I don't, like, again, and I know fans don't want to hear this, and this sucks because he's so good and you want to see him play as often as you can in a KU uniform. But the incentive to take any aggressive risk with him physically right now is it's like a zero to me.
But what about in a month? What about January 9th when they're 2 weeks into conference play?
Are they winless in conference play and they're in danger of missing the NCAA tournament? Because then I would say, yeah, let's get aggressive. If they're not and they're just kind of slogging through and they're 500 and they're going to be fine, then I would say that the priority still would have to be to get him 100% healthy if you can.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. Just for what? To get in the tournament and then you go lose in the Elite 8 and then it's like, well, that was fun, you know? Like,
yeah. Would you rather do that or be great in the Big 12 and lose in the round of 32?
I would
because that's what's happened the last. Well, I guess they haven't been great.
They haven't been great in the Big 12.
Yeah,
if you made the argument to me is if KU could win the Big 12 and get bounced in the Sweet 16, like I might take that. Like honestly, like at the end of the
okay.
If it's between that or finishing,
would you rather have
yeah,
an appearance in the Elite 8 or a Big 12 championship?
Probably a Big 12 championship.
KU fans do not agree with you.
I know they don't, but I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like, and they're so desensitized to it because they've won so many Big 12 championships.
They haven't
at the end
lately.
of the day,
when was the last time they won a Big 12 championship?
That's my point. Is the fact of like the NCAA tournament is one of the biggest crapshoots in sports, and people need to stop. You know,
but they won't.
Only thinking about it like
I've been preaching that for a long time.
I'm with you right now.
The Big 12 streak is one of the most impressive sports things I think that I've ever seen. But again, like people put all their eggs into that, especially Kansas, because Kansas and Kansas fans have a stake to and want to claim that it's the best program out there. And the national championship total is not reflective of that. Everything else is, right? Everything else is,
I guess.
But they don't have as many titles. And so, like, for Kansas fans who want to be thought of as, like, the birthplace of basketball and the best ever, and nobody's blood is bluer than our blue blood, you only achieve that through championships, unfortunately. That's the way that and I've been fighting the fight you're saying right now for as long as I've been covering Kansas basketball, but it is what it is.
At where the and I could see that argument being made in 2018 or whatever. Like they are at a point now where KU basketball since I guess they won it in 22, right? And so in 2023, 2024, like finishing where they did in the Big 12 and seeing what they did in March Madness, like they're at a point now where it's like the Big 12 has expanded. Right now, if all signs point to it being Houston's Big 12, probably. And it's like, do you want to just, let yourself be well, I mean, we were here first and, like go take the Big 12, like just do that part. And then if we could make the hypothetical of winning a decade of Big 12s again or winning a title in 2025, like give me a decade of Big 12s and just see where the chips fall.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you across all sports that I would rather have the continuity and the success. And Kansas has had the continuity. They, of course, have not missed the tournament or done anything like that for forever. At the end of the day, back to Darryn Peterson, he's as good as advertised. I hope he's healthy. They have another week, which is good. Here's the other part of playing him, and even in limited minutes against Mizzou, is he has the week to recover from that. And so that's probably a pretty good indicator to them. Okay, how does he look the next time out? Who do they play next? Who do they play?
The thing that keeps making this,
right?
No, it's NC State Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, on the road. It's such a story because KU fans, like, and us as well, like, we watch these games and it's like, gosh, he looks good. I wonder what he'd look like if he play a full game. And it's like, nope, not going to be today. They're like, that's just, I think if he plays one, then everybody will be like, okay, now we got the itch scratched. We'll figure it out from here. Like, that's what people need. And if he plays 30 minutes and scores 35 points at NC State, we probably won't hear another thing until, we're talking about towards the end of conference play, I think.
It's after NC State that they get 2 cupcakes. So it's Towson and Davidson. So, get through Saturday. Then it's short rest to Tuesday. Then you get another full week. So I'm going to guess, TJ, that we may not see that 30 minutes until January 3rd at UCF. And until then, it may be more like 20 to 25 minutes for the next 3 games. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with to a slow ramp up here. I just hope it's a slow ramp up and not a we're never going to get him at full speed.
I know.
Right? I hope that it's like a
how long is the ramp is basically the question.
That's right. That's right.
Other KU talk before we end here in this segment. The other thing Bill Self talked about after the game. So Dennis Gates, Mizzou coach, said that the border war is a big deal and he wants to play it every single year because it's good for the 2 states. Bill Self said, guys, with the Players era and the Champions Classic, like, we don't know where we're going to have time to schedule games anymore. And if it's between picking a border war because of the history or getting some money from the Players era, like, we're going to go make as much money as we can. Yeah. And, like, I don't know what to say about that. Like,
I agree.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, if that's the decision they're given, right?
I think that's the other part of the Players era conversation that we had a couple weeks ago is that, I don't know.
The Players era more. I'd rather see big time games for 2 weeks than. I mean, the other part of that is they could schedule Missouri if they wanted to. Don't play Towson.
That's the other part of it too. He said they overscheduled this year. He doesn't want to do that again.
Yeah, I'll leave it to him to know what's best for his team. Okay. Andy is on the line. Andy, hang tight with us because you want to talk about something that we are going to talk about next, which is the college playoff selection. We didn't have much time for that either yesterday. So we'll get into that. We'll take Andy's call. We'll take your comments on anything we've talked about on YouTube or X. You can do that. We have a lot of fun still. This has been a wild time. I want to tell you that Sports Talk on KFH here, presented by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. That will include the Chiefs and the Chargers this weekend, which of course you'll see on 12 News as well. We're going to have a full week here without college basketball, TJ. I don't like it. It's finals week. Don't like it. But we're going to have to wait till Saturday before we get not just a chance to see Darryn Peterson, but until we get a chance to see TJ Williams. How about that?
He's good.
I'm telling you, the Shockers right now, I know it's been the Kenyon Giles show, and when he's hot, he can fill it up. I get it. This team needs to go full embrace of TJ Williams.
I tell people, I talk to people about this, and Coach Mill, even earlier in the season, like, we were asking Coach questions about, like, man, like, how cool is this for TJ to get the chance to start on this?
You kind of see a little bit, and you're like,
and it's like, how cool is this for him to have the chance to start since Jarrett Valencia's hurt? And like, Coach was like, I mean, TJ's pretty good. And so, like, we didn't know what to think. And, like, he said outwardly, like, Jarrett didn't play, so TJ got a bigger role. And then, like, that was just like, this is a cool story. TJ Williams is starting for the Shockers. And then it's quickly turned into, like, I'm talking to people, like, that cover that talk about the team a lot. And it's like, I watched TJ Williams in high school for 3 years. Like, he was going to be a guy that was going to be good as a junior or senior. Like, yes. Wow, TJ Williams is good.
There is right now a decent chance that he is the best player on this team. And that is wild and a good thing for the team, by the way, because we didn't expect it, right? You can't wait for that. All right, when we come back, college football playoff talk, your calls, and more. Stick with us here on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Time to get
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Glad to be here with you this morning and every morning. If you want to win some free HTO, a free iced tea on us, you can do that right now by texting the keyword tea to the short code 20357. You can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. More than 25 flavors to choose from. While you're in getting that free tea, you might try one of the new limited time winter offerings, the Snickerdoodle Latte, the Peppermint Mocha, or the Peanut Butter Latte, all available for you right now at HTO. Good luck, everybody. All right, let's go right to the phone lines. Andy's been waiting very patiently with us. Andy, we appreciate that. What's on your mind? Welcome into Sports Daily.
Good morning, Jacob and TJ. Appreciate you holding me over the break because I, quite honestly, I might need some time to vent and you might have to talk me off the fences. But where the college football playoff is right now is so frustrating from so many standpoints. And I'm going to try to say this in an organized manner that makes sense. But as soon as now, granted, the college football playoff system as a whole, whether it was 2 teams, 4 teams, or 12 teams, I grant you that none of these systems has ever been perfect. But as soon as we went from 4 to 12, I think immediately that had to get some people to say, including myself, that, okay, at this point you're nullifying some of what the regular season truly means. And I'm going to give you 2 specific examples that just stick out. I'm sure there are more. Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois and still making the playoff. And then Ohio State and Michigan last year, Michigan wins that game. That ultimately meant nothing for Ohio State. So for an argument to be made that going to 12 teams has not nullified the regular season to some degree, I'm just throwing those out there. But then we get to 12 teams, and look at what we have. Do any of you have any interest in watching James Madison be a 3-touchdown underdog and Tulane being over a 2-touchdown underdog in week 1? And also, as part of week 1, watching a repeat of Alabama versus Oklahoma. Well, at least me personally, I have zero interest in seeing that.
Let me ask you a question, Andy. Would you have had any interest in Alabama and Oklahoma playing in the Citrus Bowl?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
but,
so nothing changed. So nothing changed there.
Go ahead.
Right? Your interest level in the postseason, at least at that level, hasn't changed. I would venture to guess that you were maybe at least a little more inclined to watch it, knowing that it could help determine eventually a champion. Here's at the end of the day, though, Andy, what I would say. Think about the way we what should be the most important thing about whatever the postseason looks like, right? It should be about finding the best team. That's what we do in every other sport. We try to find the best team. So I get it. That's an old school take, and you're certainly not the only one that has it. It waters down the regular season. Did you have any less interest in watching those early season games than you would have had the format not changed? Would be the first part. My guess is no. And then the other part of it is, what if we took that same idea and applied it to professional sports or the other college sports? What if we took the same idea for college basketball and said, well, Kansas and UConn played early in the year. It nullifies that game if they meet up again in March Madness. Because I think we do this for college football, but we don't do it anywhere else in the sports that we watch.
I agree to that point, but I do think that part of the brilliance of college football has been that they're the only sport that has so much of this all or nothing.
Andy, Florida State went undefeated. Florida State went undefeated a few years ago and didn't get to chance to play for a national championship because a room full of people said, we don't think they're as good. Their quarterback got hurt. That is the college football postseason we have dealt with forever.
totally get it. And I'm with you on that frustration with Florida State. But if there's any logic to what they did with Florida State at all, and I'm going to say there's very little, if we tried to apply that same logic to what they did with Ole Miss this season. So as soon as Ole Miss is no longer the coach of Ole Miss,
right,
telling me that I know you're not saying this, but it's just in theory. Are you suggesting that Ole Miss is the same or a lesser team than they were in the past? If we use that same philosophy with how impactful a coach is to a team, I would suggest to you that when Michigan won the national title, that was more because of Harbaugh than it was because of J.J. McCarthy. So the fact that we've got a coach leading to that significance, and they actually move up in the standings and the final ranking for Ole Miss, just absurd. And then, as I mentioned to you, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but let me tie a bow on just a couple more things that are making zero sense. I understand the frustration from Notre Dame's standpoint that they didn't get in. But now that we've put this carrot on it now, that the NCAA or whoever the governing body was on this part of it that says that we're going to guarantee Notre Dame gets in for years.
It's
absurd.
It is absurd. You're what like here's
you know what would fix that for Notre Dame? Joining a conference.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, they play an ACC schedule.
You say that, TJ, but let me just throw this at you. Back to the absurdity of this whole deal. Okay, let's say that Notre Dame could have hypothetically played in a championship game like Alabama did. Well, Alabama just played in the championship game against Georgia, ran for -3 yards, and moved up in the committee's eyes. I mean, just more absurdity.
You can make the same thing for BYU. BYU played in the championship game, and they lost, and they went down.
They got punished, but Alabama didn't get punished. Right. What if we just got rid of the committee? What if we got rid of the whole process of a room full of people that all have, whether they intend to or not, implied biases in what's happening, right? I see the lead analyst for Fox giving a very pro Big Ten take. I see the analyst on ESPN every day giving a very pro SEC take. You'll hear TJ and I every day give a very pro Big 12 take. Like you have to take all that out. So simplify it, right? Go to 16 teams. Okay. And this goes back into that model of why I don't understand. Like, however we get to a point where the Big 12, for example, can get to the end of its season and by itself determine who the best 3 or 4 teams are, or 2, or whatever the number is, like we'll figure that out. Okay. We're going to figure out who our best 2 teams are. We'll come up with our own formula to feed into this playoff. And you divvy those 16 spots up however it is that you need to. There's always going to be just a little bit of selection because of the non-power 4s, which I want the James Madisons and the Tulanes to have a seat at the table. I think that's important. Yes, but for the others, like whatever the number is, there's 4 of them, give them 3 each. I don't care, quite frankly. Let the conferences determine who their representatives are, because I think what we need to do is get rid of bowl games. We need to get rid of the 3-week gap we basically have from the best teams playing a college football game, play a semifinal and a conference final, and the conferences say, here's our 2 best teams, here's our 3 best teams, take them. And then we eliminate a lot of this.
Let me put us back on the train tracks here, because we're getting deep into the weeds here, I think back to the main point here, it is important that James Madison and Tulane have the representation that they did. Typically, you're not going to see the James Madison, but the ACC really got chaotic this year, which is okay. That's what the rules say. Like that's what happens. But it's important that you have the tie-in, that one of them gets in, because if you left it up to a committee, they wouldn't get in. And it's important for 2 guys that talk about Wichita State a lot. If you don't have a chance for them to make the postseason, then what the heck are you playing the 12 games for? If you can't have a chance to be the champion, it's important that they're in there. And then the fact of the matter is that the committee's always going to mess it up. The fact that it moved from 4 to 12 is the reason why it went from 4 to 12 is the committee's always going to mess something up, but at least you're not messing up the 4th best team in the country. You're messing up maybe the 10th best team in the country.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
Sure. Well, fair enough, guys. I'll let you go on that point. I probably had a couple other nuggets in my head, but they've been lost.
Call us back. I don't think there is.
It's so frustrating.
It is. And we appreciate the call, Andy. The one thing I will say to the old school, like Andy, right, who have said this old model keeps us talking, it does, right? It's a fascinating conversation. We're always going to be jamming a square peg into a round hole with college football because there are too many teams, right? In college basketball, we get a 64-team tournament. In the other levels of college football, we get at minimum a 32-team tournament. Like the playoff for as many teams, what are there, 75 or so teams? It'll never be truly representative because there's very little scheduling across conferences, and you're taking too small a number versus the total amount of teams if you stacked that up against like the NFL or so we're always going to have somewhat of a problem. That's why, like, I really do think if you could, TJ, just let the conferences determine who their own teams are by playing it out on the field.
The best way that I think you can make it is if we're throwing these hypothetical fixes out here is the fact that you make it like whatever number, and then the conference championships just become moot and they become play-in games. That's what you do.
Right. So I agree with you. I would play a semifinal and a final. Okay. The two people playing for the championship, you just put like $1 million prize on the line, and then the players have a good reason to play. And people care about conference championships. Those two teams are in regardless of the outcome of that game. You also have the third, fourth place game, and the winner is guaranteed a spot in. So every conference sends 3 of the Power 4. That gives you 12 teams. There's 4 at-larges. You have your 1 automatic that leaves 3 at-larges for the other leagues. Okay. So at that point, yeah, you're probably going to have to dissect a little bit, but what you can't do at that point is exclude the teams, like, your top 3 from your league are going in. At that point, it's more of like a bubble team conversation in college basketball than it is the conversations we have to have now, which, like, for Notre Dame, who only has lost games to playoff teams, to not get in with fewer losses than Alabama, who lost to a bad Florida State team, like that's a real problem. Because at the end of the day, the only reason we have that, in my opinion, like, we're trying to find the best team. Remember, like, the whole goal should be trying to find the best team. We've seen enough of Alabama. We know they're not the best team. Notre Dame has a case. They have crushed everybody they've played for 10 weeks now. Now they have played a softer schedule. I get it, but that's an ACC schedule.
One more thought on here is that the fact that it's gotten bigger. The most important thing. I don't like your idea, by the way. We'll talk about that later. The most important thing is the fact that it gives a Big 12 team a chance. It gives Tulane a chance, and in a sport where there's 75 teams, it's double the size of the NFL. You have to have something to play for.
100%. I give that bid needs to happen, right? I just want to find the best team. That's a big thing. I want to find the best team. Not even time today for me to gripe about Jacob Rodriguez not getting a nod in the Heisman vote. Maybe tomorrow, everybody. Criminal. We'll come right back. We got just a little more Sports Daily.